Hi everybody. My name is Claudia, and I wanted to make another video for you guys. This time we're gonna go over the 12 houses and what they represent. I thought it's a really good way to sort of want if you want to know. I'm really into horoscopes and astrology, and this is what this channel is about. So let's go over the first house. So the first house is so the astrology chart. I mean, if you want to get it online, you can get it. If I'm gonna put down an email where you can send an email for later, and I can get it for you if you don't have it. Um, but let's go over like just what the houses represent, and then later on I will go over each one of the houses in more detail than what those planets represent. But now we're just gonna go over the general idea of these houses. Okay, so the first house. So again, so the astrology chart is made into 12 pieces. It's kind of like a cake, right? It's like a pie. So the first house is the house of self, of the self. Like that's how like who you see, who you become. It's all about you. It's the house of your appearance, of the beginnings, of your body, the first impression, the attitude, identity, and approach to life. So it's all about like like your values, I would say, like who you want to be. But most of the time, sort of the ruling planet that you have in the first house is kind of like what determines to the outside. That's why sometimes the sun, but it doesn't represent the actual sun. So just make that a distinction, okay? All right. So the second house is the first house is ruled by Aries, by the way. The second house is ruled by Taurus, and it represents money, work, income, daily routine, values when it comes to money, material possessions, priorities, habits, your job, and your work ethic. Okay, and the second house is ruled by Venus. Okay, so that's like the sign of Taurus. Okay, that's what would represent. That's what would the second. So the third house is the sign of Mercury. Is ruled by Mercury. That's like communication, really, the mind, thinking, siblings, social activity, interests, neighbors, early education. So kind of has to do with your community. That's what Mercury rules. Okay, so that's kind of like the sign of Gemini, right? The Gemini is ruled by the sun sign is Mercury. So this is also like very deep, like community, like kind of like who you are at home, kind of with your brothers and sisters, and so on. Okay, and then the fourth house is ruled by Cancer. Cancer is a sign of home, really. It's kind of like, very close rooted to family, home, roots, self care, emotion, foundation, mother, children, woman, and femininity. Okay, so this is basically your house, like your surrounding, right? That's what they do. They sort of they're actually really good hoarders at making their home really nice. Just if you know that about Cancer, it might not seem like it because they seem very emotional, but they actually really love their homes. Okay, so number five is the fifth house is ruled by um the fifth house is ruled by Leo. Okay. Okay, and then it represents romance, love, affairs, play, creativity, fertility, childlike spirit, joy, self-expression, and drama. So this is yeah. So this is big. Leo is sort of like so Leo is king. It's ruled by the Leo is ruled by the sun. Okay, that's what represents Leo. So the sun is the center of our life, right? It's joy. It's childlike innocence, really. A Leo has very strong confidence, right? So that's the fifth house, okay? And then the sixth house is ruled by Virgo. Virgo is the sign of work. They are very work oriented. It's kind of like the opposite of me. I'm a Pisces rising, so that's kind of they're very much about work, very detailed. Um, Everything has to be in order. But it's not just in order, they want everything in a certain way. So the sixth house represents health, fitness that you give to others. Like whatever you do, let's say you cook a meal for somebody on a Sunday, that's the service given, right? So this is what the sixth house represents. The seventh house is the house of relationship, marriage, contract, business partners, equality, sharing, and interpersonal style. So this is where you'll find most of your mates, for example, right? This is where, the seventh house deal with your lovers, whoever you've been in a relationship with, either short term or long term. And this is where you'll find that their interpersonal style affects your interpersonal style, and this is how you realize who you kind of match with. But it's not a fixed thing. It happens that many people have different soulmates throughout the time. So it could be one person, it could be another person, and our life sort of changes because it's free will, right? We have free will, so we can choose different options at any time. But the seventh house will relationship, marriage, and contract. Okay, so this can be also mean like work contract, like whatever planet is in that house, that's your style. Okay, now the eighth house. Ooh, the eighth house. Everybody's really scared about the eighth house, but it's actually a really good house. It's the house ruled by Pluto. That's really the sign of Scorpio, right? Actually, the sign of Scorpio has two planets. That's why they're kind of powerful. So the eighth house represents merging sex, intimacy, shared finances, inheritance, taxes. That means doing your taxes or getting that refund is part of the has to do with our money, right? It's sort of opposite to the second house because the second house is your money, right? It's just other people's money. And the eighth house is also whatever you have. If you have planets in your eighth house, that could be your personal power. Okay, the eighth house also rules personal power, um, because it's sort of like governed by, I guess, these external things, and it also rules life and death. But it's not so much that you like. It's not like, oh, someone's dying, someone has to be reborn. It's more like all or nothing. It's life and death is really all or nothing. That's the sign of Scorpio, and that's what the eighth house is. Okay. Now the ninth house is the sign, which usually ruled by the sign of Sagittarius, which is very open-minded person about education, and it rules travel, wisdom, philosophy, higher education, law, and religion, cross-cultural relationship, learning, and ethics. So this is really important at this time, right? We're kind of going through that. We're learning a lot about like how religion, maybe religion and government, like maybe they don't go together, but maybe they do. I'm not sure, but this is where it would fit in. Like this is where people would have those conversations. It's in the ninth house. It's always the people that have a ruling ninth house that are really passionate about these things. They're probably passionate about politics. They probably want to make the community better, integrated with some sort of religion. Um, I wouldn't say spirituality because the religion and spirituality are two different things. I would say, religion is sort of in my opinion, it's a subset of a government, and spirituality is somewhere where people don't really. It's not that they don't have I think everyone should respect the systems in place. That's the second house, right? That's the sixth house. That's the Virgo. We have to respect the systems in order for us to reach higher learning. So as we go through the wheel, right, it's kind of like a circle of life. You have to go. Each of these houses have their place in this world, right? Every time, in this time, we're going through and realizing that many things are changing. So we're learning, we're actually getting to higher education. So that's good. Okay. Now, the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, usually. Capricorn is the sign of very hard work. I mean, he is a tax master. It also represents your career, long-term goals, structure, status, reputation, public image, masculinity, men, fathers, experts, and fame. So, yeah, if you have anything in that house, you might be somewhat famous in this time. It just depends on the planet that you have. It depends on the ruling planet that's there, and it depends what you know on your other terms on the chart. Okay, now the 11th house is usually ruled by the sign of Aquarius, and right now we're actually in the age of Aquarius, right? We just entered that. That's what's happening. Things are breaking down, and communities are rising up in a way. Now we have more freedom of speech, right? So then we have different groups of friends. We might have like we have a lot of online chats. It's really good. We actually realize because that's Aquarius is sort of like the internet. It connects everyone, and this is what the 11th house rules: groups, friends, right? It's all about humanitarian. It's all about like UNICEF or whoever you see in these roles. Those are the people that have probably a really strong 11th house um, presence in their chart. Okay, or it might be an Aquarius. Aquarius people will sacrifice the things that others have for the sake of humanity, which is really really nice. Okay, all right. Now the 12th house is ruled by pieces and Saturn. Uranus. So Uranus is it's a very foggy planet, I would say. It's sort of like this filter. It has like a filter. You never know like what's behind it. Like you might have to use the power of the 8th house, which is finding deeper thing to see what happened in the 12th house. This is like your subconscious. This is where things that you have no idea about. Like why are you like getting sad when you look at a picture? Like, what does that say to you? Like, have you thought about it? Do you have a memory that goes back to it? Are you remembering a bad experience? This is the 12th house. It will somehow, it's like the emotional memory of your body. It's not your physical body. It's just like this emotional thing. Like when you close your eyes and you feel it, that's what it is. It's like that's the 12th house. Like you can never see it, and it's ruled by pieces. And pieces people are actually the most psychic people. They're also very creative. I'm a pieces writing. Um, and they're also a little bit it's strange. Like there's a lot of strange things going closure, spirituality, solitude, karma, old age, afterlife, what's hidden, limiting beliefs, and subconscious. So yes, so another important thing is limiting beliefs. So this is where like for example, if you've been doing something or believing something about yourself and you don't even know what that is, you have to look at your values. You have to like go really deep within yourself and find out why is it that you believe these things. Because something might be limiting you. And this is where the 12th house comes in. This is why Uranus is ruled by Uranus, because it hides everything. It makes a fog out of everything, you know? And it's like you might not really see it until you actually face it, until you face yourself, until you face your shortcomings. That's why, again, it has to do with healing. So healing yourself is really looking at the 12th house. Okay, and that's like the most important message I want to say to everyone. If you're having any issues within your body or anything, all you have to do, I'll continue to post some of these topics in astrology and continue to do the daily mantra readings. I mean the monthly mantra reading. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful time watching.